Oh, and now it's showing. Oh, I think, yes, we're live. Holy cow. But I'm trying to get the, yes. See, you got to start this. It's so lame. I love it. Welcome, everyone, to the lounge. You made it to the lounge. What did you bring is the question, all right? As I fade the music. And I got to tell you guys, don't let me forget to tell you guys about how there was like a little clicking sound in my audio. And then I had to quickly figure it out like 5 minutes before the stream. Anyway, this is the big ending. Not really. But, so, I don't know. I got Perrier. Can you even see that?
Yeah, we got the same.
Real
bubble water. Bubbles. Cheers.
Yes, cheers. And I also have a little high octane Monster Rehab. Now, if you're not familiar, this is like iced tea and lemonade. This isn't like sugar. There's actually 10 calories.
Wow.
So I'm just saying it's not like the average energy drink.
Still packs a punch, though, I imagine, right?
It's pretty good. Yeah, it has some caffeine, and I got my water, too. So, real quick, we're going to go, and Zach and Rock are here from Squadcast, if you haven't noticed. Welcome, guys.
Thanks for having us, Chris.
You guys, I'm trying to think of, anyway, I'm trying to look for a sound clip, but anyway, so we're going to quickly, while we're waiting for people to join live, I'm going to go over what we're going to go over. So, I know you guys can't see my screen, but everyone else can, and so you could see this, and that's my Google Drive, which I wasn't supposed to show you. Anyway, it's not a big deal, right? People are probably screen capturing and trolling and I don't know what. But anyway, all this is brought to you by Podcast Engineering School, which is the school I run. Learn how to produce and engineer podcasts at a professional level. It's a serious school. It's expensive. Everyone who goes through it loves it immensely. And I'm not just like, you can ask ask anybody. All right.
Mike McAllen, and he's a big fan of the school. He's puts on the local meetup out here in Oakland, and he rants and raves about it. So we can attest.
That's right, Mike McAllen, and he should be here any minute. Wait, where's my see? Hold on. Where's the comments?
He wished us luck. He knew about it.
I know. He texted me on Slack. He's like, "Oh, Zach and Rock are going to be on tonight." I was like, "Yeah." So, anyway, I guess now you could see. I don't know why things are messed up this evening. Like, look at me. Look at how I don't line up with. Anyway, I'm not gonna really worry about it. So we're going to talk about the distressor. Well, these are just topics to discuss, all right? I mean, we're just hanging out in the lounge. Remember, we're in the lounge. We're chilling.
We're totally chill. There's
no like we don't have any specific agenda. This isn't a podcast show where I'm going to say the same thing every week and So Zach and Rock, tell me how did you get the idea for Squadcast? What did you begin? How did you start and all that crap? No, we're not covering that. We're just chilling in the lounge. Top 7 classical music podcasts to add to your playlist. We're going to touch on that. We're going to touch on, where is it? Yeah, here it is. Gimlet Media sets standard for podcast production with groundbreaking WSDG designed facility. Oh yeah. They built a bunch of rooms in Brooklyn. Right. Pod News, if you're not... Anyway, we'll talk about Pod News. The CLA 76 compressor, and I'm going to tell you about what I did today in one of my sessions. We got the NAB show. Look at this. I know you guys can't see it, but I wish you could see it. But there's the podcast pavilion. You see that? Everyone else could see it. Look. It's the NAB floor plan, and there's the podcast pavilion, and that blue dot is where I'm going to be. Yeah, Podcast Engineering School. Ask the expert. Okay. Well, I ordered the microphone I always wanted. I'm going to tell you what that is. The D. Russell functionality within Isotope RX7. I'm going to talk about that. Google Fi a different kind of phone plan. I came across this. I don't know what it is. I'm going to ask you guys.
I use it.
He's the guy to talk to about it.
I love it.
Really?
For over a year, yeah.
So, all right, we're going to talk about it. But what is it? Like instead of having Verizon Wireless, I have Google Fi?
Exactly, yeah. So it's a mobile service provider. It's a mobile data and talk service, and it's really great user experience. From what I understand, like under the hood, it's Google's made this kind of amalgam super network of other networks. So it's inclusive of like T-Mobile, US Cellular, all of Google's Wi-Fi networks work on it as well. So that's every Starbucks and McDonald's, and then also like as they roll out their magical balloon internet service called Google Loon. Have you seen one of those balloons flying around?
No.
So they're flying over the Bay Area. It's kind of crazy to spot one. Yeah, they're really high up, so you got to kind of catch them at the right time of day when they're doing like a shift change. And my wife took me to we have a planetarium in Oakland that has like every Friday night has the Chabot Space and Science Center. They do a satellite kind of viewing party, and we were there early at sunset and caught one of the Google Loons coming down off its shift, and got to see like the light glimmering off of it. And we're looking at it through a really high powered telescope, so got a good look at it. And it's kind of crazy that's coming online soon.
And so it's the Google balloon. It's up in the air. It's a hot air balloon, and it's providing what Wi-Fi and cell service. Are there people in it?
No, they're fully autonomous. They go up and down by using like some really cool stuff, and it's basically like an LTE tower in the sky, and they're sending down data service. I don't think Project Phi's hooked up to it yet. It's still like in the late stages of R&D, but they've done. My understanding, they've rolled out internet in like all of New Zealand, like some areas of South America. So they're bringing on regions at a time.
It's so interesting. And last week in the lounge, I was talking about my Acoustimeter, which detects all the radiation, the Wi-Fi, the Bluetooth, the cell, and it's like, it's not really that good to be getting blasted by all that stuff, but
it's more than you think it is, right? Like
I know people. I mean, that meter. It's like you turn on the meter. It was like. I was like, man,
we should do that at like Podcast Movement or maybe Podfest. And people are always like complaining, like, "Oh, Wi-Fi at conferences," and then you turn one of those things on, you'll understand real quick why.
Totally, I'm gonna bring it. I got that. I bought that meter. It wasn't cheap.
Yeah. Let's do some tests at Podfest.
I'm telling you, I'm gonna walk around and people are gonna be like, "Oh my god." All right, so the Google Fi, then we got Pandora podcast. Why did I have this up here? We already covered Pandora, didn't we? Or what? Why did I have this up here?
Old news, Chris.
Yeah, what was your take on it then? Since you brought it up.
Oh no, it's in general it's old news, but no, this is they now have this is probably also old news, but now they have a form you can fill in to get your show listed on there.
Oh, right. They're going to roll it out to more people.
Like now it's open for anybody, not just libs and people and a Blueberry. The MixPre series firmware update. I'll cover that quickly. There's a picture of me when I was a baby. Broken Record by Malcolm Gladwell. I listened to a recent episode. I want to tell you about it. Dan Carlin's Hardcore History Addendum. I've listened to almost all these recently. Here's the devices I bought, which actually deliver the Ethernet over power. It delivers Ethernet through the power outlets in your house. Anyway, I'll talk about that later. And then I have a funny story about when I used to work in a like a warehouse type job, and there was a bunch of non-English speaking people there, and some from Ecuador. And anyway, I got approached with a proposition. I'm going to tell you about that later. See how I left them hanging, Zach and Rock?
You got us hooked.
You're hooked? All right. Well, The Power of Myth. I recently watched the last part of this. Is a 3 DVD series with Dr. Joseph Campbell. Anyway, I'll talk about that. Got a new toilet this week. Yeah, baby. All right, I'll tell you about my new toilet. And and the book I just got, it just came out, and I just already read it already, by David Goggins. Can't Hurt Me. Master Your Mind and Defy the Odds.
But you read it without using it on your toilet.
Oh, I didn't. Yeah, you're right. I didn't read it on my toilet. That would have been. I should have taken a picture and sent it to David Goggins. But
you're ahead of me. That's on my list. I'm definitely going to read that. I want to hear what you think.
Oh, well, come on, man. It's just tremendous. I'm so amped up. It's crazy. And then the last thing is, I have a funny story about when I was on the subway, when I was working in the studios in New York. I had a friend who, we might as well do this now. I had a friend who, because, okay, so you're, and by the way, no one is chatting, and no one, like, I don't think anyone's watching and no one's chatting. If you're chatting, please type something in.
Well, it's cool then. We can just have you all to ourselves.
Ah, that's right. And well, then the people will see the replay too. But geez. Anyway, I'm so new to streaming. Like, you see these streamers, they come online and they have a little screen that says starting soon, and then they wait like 5 or 10 minutes, so people get the notification that, hey, he's live, and then they have 5 or 10 minutes to log, to join. I don't do that yet. I just press go and I come online with 0 people, but people usually come on really quick. But
awesome. Are you streaming to Facebook, YouTube, both?
Yeah, Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, Mixer, and Periscope, all 5.
Damn.
Yeah, through Restream, restream.io. It's and here it is. We're live. It says we're live.
That's rad.
Yeah, you guys can't see it, but so
sounds cool.
I'm getting up the Facebook chat on my satellite computer here, but I had a friend who he was a tech at Soundtrack, right? Soundtrack is one of the studios I worked in. And he used to come in from New Jersey, specifically Boonton, New Jersey, and he always used to say historic Boonton because a lot of towns in that area are sort of not a lot of towns, but some of the towns are actually historic, like George Washington stayed there and stuff, like, for real.
Right.
So he used to commute on a bus and then take the subway to the studio, and we were talking about, like, he'd see some weird stuff, and I lived in the city, so I was seeing weird things all the time. And I guess I could put the camera on you guys. Yeah. So, but he told me one day, he told us one day, me and my friend, he's like, hey, if you ever ride in the subway and you feel like intimidated, and there's people there that you're afraid of, and that you don't want them to really mess with you at all. He's like, I know the best thing you can do. He's like, take a bunch of water and just spill it, like, on the front of your pants. Like, to make it look like you just literally peed yourself bad. And then he's just like, look up in the air and just like mumble and just kind of walk and mumble. And he's like, that's it. No one, none of these brothers from the hood will mess with you at all.
The old Billy Madison tactic.
Wait, what did he do?
Remember, he's like, you ain't cool unless you pee your pants. That Billy Madison movie.
I never had to use that, but there was one night I could have. I was about to get jumped by 4 guys.
Oh wow!
On the subway late at night, and I just stood up. The guy came up and he's like, give me your money, and I just stood up, and I walked toward the door, and I just stood near the door. The train was moving, and I was in my head, I'm like, I ain't giving this guy money, but and if he tries anything, I'm just gonna do my best, but But he must have seen it in my face that I wasn't gonna just give in and stuff, because then he his other buddy was there, and they just kind of, maybe, I guess they weren't real thugs, because they As soon as the train stopped, the door opened, I stepped out, and then they all went out the other door, and then I just stepped right back in, and then the door shut, and yeah, it took off. So, but that could have been bad.
Were you? Was this in New York?
Yeah.
Was this back in like because the 90s, it was still pretty rough out there, right? So was this back then?
Yeah, 93, 94.
It's much safer now, right?
Yeah. And in fact, when I was there is when they were actually cleaning up 42nd Street. So yeah, early 90s, they were doing a lot of cleanup, because before that it was, way worse. Yeah,
I've never seen New York, other than the way it is now, with like Times Square being basically like a big tourist area. But from what I heard, it used to be kind of a slum of sorts, right? Like pretty hardcore.
Yeah. I mean, in places. But yeah, I mean, that's back. Well, in the 80s, in Brooklyn and Queens and stuff, it all around was rough. I mean, that's when like Mike Tyson was coming up in Brooklyn in the 80s, and that's like, he just describes what it was. And
crazy.
Chat's not working. Yes, it's not working. So while I'm getting chat working, you guys built this awesome tool that we're using to connect. It's called Squadcast, and if people can just look on the screen, they can see Squadcast. And I zoomed it in so we could see your picture, your video better. And but there's there's a bunch of controls. And just for anyone who doesn't know, Squadcast it's a voice over IP recording service, which is really handy for podcasters, because you can connect, instead of connecting over Skype and having Skype just freaking pummel the quality of your audio, just destruction. You can use something like Squadcast, and there are others like Zencastr and Ringer. Squadcast is the only one that actually shows you a little video of each other, so you can see each other, and that's really helpful. And you guys have been making a lot of progress over the last year or so. So give us the quick update. Start quick, and then we'll talk more.
Happy to, yeah. So we do a couple different things different. We never put you in a situation where you would lose any audio. So I know that's like anxiety going into recording remotely. We have primaries. We upload those in the background progressively as you're recording. So we always have that, and then backups on top of that. So like three levels of redundancy. And like you said, video, we'll be adding video recording in the coming months. And kind of where we are now is we are like weeks away from our 1.0 stable release. So we're in beta right now, and we're at the very, very, very tail end of that process. So been working closely with folks like yourself and the community to really build something that's useful to podcasters, to record an interview with one person, 2-3 people. So we record locally and have our really strong emphasis on the quality of the audio. So that's like C quality wave, and we can talk about some details there if you want.
Yeah, well, we're gonna talk more about Squadcast for sure, but I'm trying to
chat.
I'm trying to reply. Why can't I reply? Dude, every freaking week, Facebook is a big problem. So, you know what? If you're on Facebook, come on Twitch or YouTube. Seriously, I'm not going to look at Facebook the rest of the time. Brandon Gonzalez, my brother, come on Twitch or YouTube, bro. Seriously, Facebook sucks.
Yeah, YouTube's the way to go with live, for sure.
Facebook sucks. God. All right, well, look, Ralph Rivera's here. Podcastage is here. Wait, TLM 67? Bandrew, what is that? A TLM 67? Heather's here from New Zealand.
Hey,
Anthony's here. Ralph Rivera's here. And Mike McCallan's here.
Mike.
Dude.
Oakland strong.
Oakland. I had to pop a cop in Oaktown because he wasn't giving me my props. No? I heard that somewhere.
Oh, that's a great movie.
Oh, we just watched it. Yeah, Austin Powers, the second one with Mini Me, and
I'm due for that.
Yeah, it's been too long.
Oh, it's. I was watching it with my wife, and I'm telling you, there's got to be, no joke, at least 25 classic lines, like literally all-time classic lines in one movie.
Yeah. I use them so much, I don't even think I know I'm using them anymore.
Very quotable. It's like Napoleon Dynamite. You get a lot of good quotes.
Yeah, so welcome to the lounge, everybody. So, by the way, if you have any questions, wait, what did Ralph just say? Uh-oh. Oh, no, what am I, messing up the screen here? It's Ralph's fault. What did you say? What did Ralph say? Oh, yeah. Ralph and Carolyn are going to be at the NAB booth with me.
Nice.
Which is going to be awesome. Why can't I adjust this? Oh, this is just terrible.
When is NAB?
NAB's in April. And Jamie Ritchie's here. Hi, Jamie. Oh, man. Welcome. Oh, so happy to have you here. So sorry we missed you guys when we were down in your town, Jamie. But, yeah. Oh, Bandrew meant a U-47. No, I didn't order a U-47. I should have. Oh, that's a good idea. I have a plan, You guys know Bandrew, right? Podcastage, YouTube channel. If you don't, just go to YouTube. Here, I'll show you.
Please do.
I think I remember talking to you on the phone while you were driving to NAB last year, or this year, I guess.
What was that weird sound I just heard? Anyway, here's Bandrew's page. Is that the home page or what? There it is. Okay, we'll leave it there. Yeah, he makes awesome YouTube videos. Max Flight is here too. Oh my God. Can you ask Zach and Ralph if they are planning a white label Squadcast in the future for PES graduates? Oh yeah.
Ooh.
Jeez. Wow, that's asking a lot, Mike McCown. What do you think, we're special or something? We are nobodies. Right?
We disagree.
No, yeah, I think yeah, we will absolutely be doing a white label version. We get asked that frequently, so it's definitely in our roadmap for around this time of 2019.
There you go. Yeah, so Squadcast, it's just yeah, now that you do the progressive uploads as well, we'll come back to Squadcast. PES graduates are gods among men. Well, that is true. That is true. Should we use that line as part of the marketing, Ralph Rivera? Like up here on my website, right here on the top left, say, instead of saying learn to engineer and produce podcasts at a professional level, I'll just say, what did he say?
It sounds like a testimony.
PES graduates are gods among men. So
Like a
here,
cool shirt.
Have you guys heard of Universal Audio? Well, Universal Audio makes audio gear, and now they make plugins, and they make like really great interfaces. Like actually, it's for mostly for music studios because it's really expensive stuff, but it's really great stuff. Like it's you know, there's audio interfaces and plugins and all kinds of cool stuff they make. It's really expensive, and it's not really for podcasters. But I just saw today they have a 5-minute video. I'm showing it on the screen now. 5-minute little video on the Distressor plugin that they made. And the Distressor is like, it's a compressor, but it also has like harmonic distortion as well. And it's kind of hard to describe, but the actual harmonic distortion that this Distressor does is the same, well, very similar to, and I'm opening up my plugins here, the Schoeps Omni channel that I'm showing on the screen now. In the pre section here, the saturation right here, the top left saturation knob, which I usually keep it on 13 or 14. I just add a little bit of saturation, but it's really nice. Wait, and it's on even, yeah, because the even harmonics are a little smoother. That's why I had it on even. But wait a minute. I thought my default on the Schoeps was odd. Yeah, see? I'll have to change that. All right, someone remind me to change that. I mean, odd harmonics they're also good, but like they're just a little more, it's like a little more distorted and stuff, where the even harmonics give distortion, but it's just like smoother and it just more pleasing to the ear, I guess. Ralph is telling me and the Sheps Omni channel to get a room. Yes, thank you, Jamie. The female PES graduates are goddesses among women. Well, that was always known. I mean, that's like saying water is wet. So, and Heather's here from New Zealand.
So jealous.
Let's get back to the stories. So, have you guys listened to classical music?
I do, yeah.
Only when we're working.
Right? Isn't it really good just to have on in the background?
Yeah, Baroque music. I love it.
Right. And what do you guys think of the little, because most of you probably don't hear it, the little intro music I play when I start the stream. I'm going to play it now. Hold on. I'm going to put you guys on the screen too. So what do you guys think of this? Yeah, I wish I could like rap. Like I mean, at least fake it, but I can't. But you can always grunt. You just go like Cuba Gooding Jr. in Show Me the Money. The way he does it. Got to get Ralph Rivera to do like karaoke in the lounge or something. We need karaoke for the lounge. You guys just turn off your video.
I don't know what Zach's messing around with here.
That reminds me. Along this, I haven't been in Squadcast for a while. Just you could see to the right side of the video, there's a location icon. So if I hover over it, it says Oakland, and mine says Colorado Springs. Then there's a time, so that's a local time. Then there's for you guys. Then the next one is like the connection that says 4G connection for you. It says 4G connection for me.
Yeah, we thought that would be helpful for our hosts to get kind of an understanding of their guests' environment when they join in a session, whether it, like some of them are for fun, like the location and time zone. That's really for fun because we figured, hey, people are going to be connecting with each other all over the world. It'd be kind of cool to see that. But some of the other stuff is more so like performance or more like higher value information, like, their mic, their headphones, is it plugged in? That's on the bottom of the video, and then on the right, there's some other additional stuff like
battery.
Yeah, battery. What version of Chrome? How much gigs they have. So it was just more helpful to, get an understanding of what the environment is, and if there are any issues that they can kind of communicate that and work through it.
See, that's awesome. But mine, it says 8 gig of RAM, and I think I have like a stupid amount of RAM. I think I have 64 gig of RAM.
So it's around. That's what the squiggly's for. For some reason, Chrome it caps out at 8. Like
interesting.
It has lower than 8 if you had like 4 or 2, but it doesn't go over 8. So 8's plenty though. So you got 64. You got a couple cores.
And Mr. Podcastage, I'm sorry, Dr. Podcastage, he didn't go to 8 years of medical school to be called Mr. Thank you. He has a question for you guys. What, if any, of that location / device / connection information is stored, and how is it secured?
It's a really good question, and I'm glad folks are security conscious. So, it's for one thing, like all of your guest information is anonymous from the start. Like your guest doesn't need a Squadcast account. We don't tie any identity to them, so they're anonymous throughout the lifetime of using Squadcast as a guest, and then we store it. We store it only to show it to you. So we don't have more detailed information that we're saving under the hood for our own purposes. Like if we're getting the location information, it's just to show it to you, so that way you can stay in sync. So we like this idea of like shared awareness, right? Like being mindful of each other's setups. And that's really the intention there, is to have the local time and the city. We're not trying to like get your GPS down to your doorstep, right? Like, and then save that for some other nefarious purpose. It's just to help have a good interview.
So is it true, Mr. Zach, that you are in fact working with the NSA to target podcasters like Ralph M. Rivera?
Shut his computer. Let's get out of here.
Yeah. You know what people remember? You know the people who say that you should put a little piece of tape over your webcam, right? Yeah. Ralph Rivera, do you do that? I bet you do, bro. I bet he probably has everything taped up.
I've seen Snowden. Yeah, no, it's it's really just to keep you guys in sync, and you know, any amount of work that is done under the hood for weird stuff like that takes away from our ability to capture studio quality audio, and we don't want to do that. So we definitely are prioritizing, right, like the capturing of the audio. Location is just a nice to have between you and your guest.
Right. And let's look at the NAB show floor plan. Ralph M. Rivera and Carolyn Rivera, right? This is the podcast pavilion. This is where we're going to be. And
that's really cool. They have an interactive visualization of it. I know the ones that we get from like Podcast Movement and stuff like that. It's like a PDF. So this is cool.
Wait, is it? It is 100%. Yeah, see, so Libsyn's up here. Here's us. This is the Ask the Expert booth / Podcast Engineering School. Then Blueberry's right here. See, on the back side, it's open. Squadcast, come on, go for the four panel booth, the 40 by 10.
Yeah, you can fill it up.
Right?
Which events do you sponsor, Chris? Because did you sponsor Podcast Movement in Philly? Because I know we met you at Podcast Movement in Anaheim when you had the different mic setups to test out different mics and whatnot, which was a great idea. That was a lot of fun. But I don't recall you being a sponsor at PodFest and Podcast Movement. So NAB must be a good one to go to, though.
Well, NAB is different. It's way different. And it's this podcast pavilion. They wanted to have an Ask the Expert booth. They would just want to have a booth where people can walk up and ask any question. And so they approached me and asked me to head that up. So that's kind of different. But yeah, so last year at Podcast Movement, I was not a vendor. I didn't have a booth. And even at PodFest, I didn't have a booth in 2018, which was this year previously. But next year, I'm doing both. I'm doing PodFest and in Orlando in March. I'm going to have a booth there. And
twice.
You guys too?
Yeah, Orlando twice in 1 year.
Yeah, Orlando twice. And so for Podcast Movement, you know, they actually have sponsorship for the tracks. So I'm going to sponsor the technical track. So I'm going to be like the MC of that room, like introducing every speaker. And I'm also going to have a booth there. So
going to have introducing me. That would be really cool.
Oh, you're going to speak there?
Rock and I, yeah, I think so. We're gonna give. You know how Rob Walsh gives his presentation on like the state of podcasting from a listening and consumption perspective. We've been talking with Chris and John, and we got our talk approved to give a similar presentation, but on the creative side. So the state of podcast interviews.
Oh, that's cool. So you're gonna be. It's on the technical track though, right?
I believe it is. I'm not 100% sure, okay. But I believe so, because we're going to be talking about like stats that we see, like stuff you'd be into, like what's the most common microphone used amongst, you know, remote interviews, what's like headphones, how long's the average interview, how long's the average session relative to that interview. That's actually an interesting one, that like the average session length is typically double what the average recording in that session is. So like people talk before and after quite a bit. So there's some interesting tidbits that the pros do that can really help bring clarity to how people think about remote interviews.
Right. Okay. So bye, Jamie. Thanks for stopping in. I don't know. She probably already logged off, but Mike McCowan, get your mind out of the gutter about Podcast Movement. Oh, speaking of movements, where is it? Here you go, Mike McCowan. This is for you. This is my new toilet I just got within the past week. Because in my basement, like we've been living here 3 years, and in the basement, like The toilet was one of those toilets where it was like, you know what? Wait, hold on a second.
Yeah, how do you even shop for a toilet? They all like look the same. They all do the same stuff.
Wait, is my head cut off? Am I zoomed in on my camera or something?
Looks like it a little bit.
Oh, so no, you know how like a gun, like a handgun. There's what they call a pug nose handgun, which is like it's really short, right?
Yeah.
That's how the toilet was in my basement here. It was like, I don't know what it was, dude. It was like a toilet for midgets or something. And it was just hard to use, you know? So I finally got, you know, a real man's toilet, an Al Bundy toilet. Yes. And yes, right. It is that important that I need to share it in the lounge. Absolutely.
I want to hear all about it. Like, you know, what was the test drive like?
I'll tell you. You know what? I heard angels singing. It was just. It was. It was a spiritual experience.
Good. It should be.
It continues to be.
Right? Jeez. All right. Well, there's the podcast pavilion, and all right, classical music. Hey, these are top 7 classical music podcasts, and I want to check some of these out.
Does Yo-Yo Ma have a podcast?
I don't know. Is that your phone ringing?
No, not me.
Is it in the song? I'm gonna fast forward that song. Oh, I should have thumbs downed it. Dang it. Right? See, now it's gonna come back around.
Who do you stream music through, Chris?
I use. Oh wait, yeah, that reminds me. I got to go back to my desktop here. See, sometimes I forget to do that. Like just the camera's on me and. And I'm like showing things on my screen and talking about it, and people are like, all we can see is you. This is it right here. It's called Pretzel, and it has like hundreds and hundreds of hours of music that is safe for, you know, streaming and the replays and everything. It's like
cool.
What do they call that? Royalty free music and everything. So it seems like it's okay. But there's a streamer I really like. His name is Mitch Ray. Oops. And oh, I could probably just go. Oh, is he live right now? No. So Mitch Ray is he talks about cryptocurrency, and he plays, I think his music he plays from a Spotify playlist, I think, but but I don't know what Spotify playlist is it that is actually royalty free and that you can just play and, you know, like that. So
are you into cryptos, Chris?
Yeah, about the last couple months I got into it. Yeah.
Interesting.
Mike McCowan says if I was a real man, I'd have a urinal. Yeah. All right, I'm gonna come to your house, Mike, and use your urinal then. Okay. Oh, Bandrew asks another follow-up question on Squadcast. Do you have the ability to disable location data if you don't want that to be shared for privacy reasons?
Absolutely. So we have permission. You have to grant permission in Chrome to access your location. So that's one of the, before you even join the session, we ask for permission to your microphone. That's the only one that's required for obvious reasons, I think. Camera is again optional, and we can toggle that off, right? And then also the location is optional. It's up to you. So every participant in a call, in a session, has those permissions that they can grant or choose not to.
There you go. Scott Sikora, welcome, brother. You guys have any questions in chat? Yeah, Max Flight, I started playing some music, in the background. Just kind of chill in the background music. It's not anything special, so. All right, let's do one more news story. Then I want to ask you when is 1.0 coming out? All right, so classical music podcast. I was looking through this, and the link will be in the description later on. But I don't know. The reason I brought up the classical music was because of where is it?
Is this a network for classical music podcasts?
I don't think so. No, this is just it's a blog post that's top 7 classical music podcasts to add to your playlist. That's all. It's a blog post someone made.
Cool.
But what I wanted to say right now was, oh, here it is. Broken Record with Malcolm Gladwell and Rick Rubin. This is an awesome podcast if you're into music. And this is actually the, right on the screen, you could see the episode, Nashville Revolution, Bobby Braddock, Don Schlitz, and Don Henry. This episode of this podcast, I'm not exaggerating one bit. In the last 4 days, I've listened to basically the entire episode about 5 times.
Whoa, that's a different kind of binge.
A different kind of binge. And dude, these 3 guys wrote some of the most classic songs ever out of Nashville, back in the late 70s and the 80s. And they just talk about it, and they actually play some of the songs. And dude, if you're into music and music production and songwriting and stuff, I mean, it's just a great episode, man.
I love their artwork too. I got to check it out. I hadn't heard about this.
Oh man, and well, it's Malcolm Gladwell, who's awesome.
Right.
The only thing is on this show, Malcolm Gladwell does the interviews like maybe half the time or 2/3 of the time, but then there's this other guy who he has going out and interviewing people, and I don't know who it is. And the other guy he's okay, but he's not Malcolm Gladwell. So it's a little like, it's almost like a different host. Some of the shows there's like a different host. Even though Malcolm Gladwell comes in and introduces each episode, but then he's like, oh, our associate Jim, or whatever his name is, sat down with Rosanne Cash and whatever, and then they just cut to that interview. It's a little weird though.
I'm curious, like, yeah. Are you a fan of Masterclass? Have you heard of that service?
I may have. I'm not sure.
So Malcolm Gladwell did he taught a master class, and it's like I don't know how many hours long of video of him, and
I'll see you, Anthony. Brother, go ahead.
I can definitely recommend that. I've watched it like twice now. I think it's Malcolm Gladwell Teaches Storytelling. So anybody who's into podcasting, for storytelling is always always a good thing to learn from someone like Malcolm Gladwell, and he goes into a lot of good detail there.
I don't think this is the right audience.
I know. I mean, well, it's
only a bunch of podcasters.
I don't know. Yeah.
No, it's great. And yeah, I just pulled it up on the screen. Well, here it teaches writing. It says teaches writing, but yeah.
Writing. Yeah, it's more so on the storytelling end of thing. I don't think he goes into his practices for like writing, but
that's awesome.
Maybe they changed the name. That's weird.
Yeah, no, I got it. I'll put the link in, but yeah, that's pretty cool. Yeah, cool. He's really good. Even his own podcast. What was his own podcast called?
Revisionist History.
Revisionist History, yeah. So, all right, Anthony, see you, brother. Max Flight downloading. Yeah, dude. I don't like. Again, if you're into studio stuff and behind the scene music business, and also the songwriting, because it's really about the songwriting and the feeling. If you're into all that stuff, it's just a great episode.
There's a few podcasts like that now that I just dig how they're breaking down music, whether it's the production side or just talking with the artist about like one song. There's a few out there, so yeah, I'll definitely have to check out this one too. But it's just neat how they can just podcast gives you the ability to just dive so deep into something and get you a new appreciation for that stuff.
Yeah, and like as soon as they're getting into the episode, like after they talk about the sponsor, and then Malcolm Gladwell sort of introduces the episode. He's like, oh, let's let Don Schlitz kick it off. And he just Don Schlitz sitting there with an acoustic guitar. He starts playing. He plays most of The Gambler, that song, The Gambler.
Mm-hmm.
On a warm summer's evening, on a train bound for nowhere. Thing is, like, we all know the Kenny Rogers version of that song, but hearing the guy who wrote it And he doesn't have the best voice in the world, but it's his song. He wrote it, and just the way he delivers it, it's so cool. It's so real.
You can really get better than that. Cool.
Oh yeah. All right, so Gimlet has a new studio in Brooklyn. They have 12 rooms, and they actually had like an acoustic architectural firm, WSDG, Walters Historic Design Group.
And so it's free to the public, right? Like people could just go in there and set up shop? And...
No. I think it's Gimlet. It's their company. It's for their use.
I thought it was like, you know how, like Anchor and a few other companies are like opening up like a studio space for creators to come and record and
right.
Stuff like that.
Yeah, it's not that. This is Gimlet as a company. They're like, they want their own studios. And I mean, I guess I don't know that 100% for sure, but because I didn't read this article, but
no, it looked like it. Just looking at it, yeah.
We can probably get in there, right, Chris?
Oh God, dude! I told you when we started, I am nobody. I swear to God, I've been in podcasting for so long. I've been doing so much and trying to help a lot of people, and still, I am nobody. I can't email someone and get a response. I can't ask some. It's just. And I'm okay with it. Like, maybe it'll take me 10 years to, now my picture size went down again. Huh. Anyway, but no, we're nobodies. We're nobodies. We have no money, no influence. Only Bandrew has any influence, and Ralph Rivera, because it's Ralph Rivera. I mean,
I don't know. Mike McAllen's a cool guy.
Well, he's like the Godfather. Like he could just make like a hand gesture and you're done. You just on your way home, your car's gonna blow up. You're done.
I feel like we're out of place, Chris. Everyone's got alliteration in their names. Chris Curran, Ralph Rivera, Mike McAllen. It's like
Zach Moreno. No, not cool.
Hey man, no, it's cool. All right, so let's talk about it.
Have you seen the show, the Homecoming, like the TV show on Amazon? Have you watched that with Julia Roberts?
No, what is it?
Yeah, so they have that show. Gimlet's podcast Homecoming was made a TV show on Amazon.
Oh, okay.
Similar to Lore. I actually watched the first season. It's like 10 episodes.
Oh shit.
30-minute long episodes. It's definitely well produced. Julia Roberts does. She's Julia Roberts in there, and there's some other good actors.
Did you watch Alex Inc?
Dude, I couldn't watch Alex Inc. I figured that wasn't going to be good when they called it Alex Inc. I was just like, oh man, why would you name it that? But no, that wasn't interesting to me. But Homecoming was, I feel like it's worth it. Like, I think we should all probably watch it just because it's probably the best effort. It sounds like Lore is okay, but not great from the few episodes I watched. But this one's, I'm not going to say it's great. It's not going to take over Game of Thrones or anything like that, but it was it's well produced and interesting, and basically it's like like a center for rehabilitating like soldiers that come back from Iraq. So the place is called Homecoming, or it's not Iraq, it's just military service in general, and Julia Roberts is like the head doctor trying to bring these guys back to assimilate back into regular civilian life. So
how does podcasting figure into all that?
Well, because it's a Gimlet show.
But it's a Gimlet TV show.
It started, I think it started as a podcast, and they adopted it to the TV show on Prime.
Got it.
Like Lore.
Cool. I did watch some of the episodes of Lore on Amazon. I liked them. I mean,
like it.
Meaning it was well done. I mean, one story we watched, it moved a little slow, but that's creepy, man. A lot of it is just like, whoa.
I'd be stoked to see them pick up one of the top science fiction audio dramas. Like that would be really cool to see, like A Girl in Space or Ars Paradoxica turned into a visual presentation.
Well, honestly, that one, Homecoming, felt a lot like the the Bright Sessions, because it's like a guy going in there talking about his problems to a doctor. And I was like, this is kind of like the Bright Sessions. I know Gimlet, has their own thing. It's its own. It's not like supernatural science fiction stuff the way that the Bright Sessions is, but like
similar, like the recording therapy sessions.
Exactly.
Interesting.
You can see how it fit that whole podcast narrative of like, okay, even though it's like scripted and whatnot, it's still kind of like an interview.
Have you listened to any? Do you listen to any science fictions, audio drama stuff, Chris?
I guess not really. No.
Yeah, it's emerging. I've even in the amount of time I've started listening to them, there have been a bunch more that have come out. So there's some cool people making really creative work. So I'm a big fan of sci-fi in general. So to see it come to podcasting is pretty cool.
That is cool. Hey, Addie's here. Hey, Addie, the podcast planner.
Hey, what's up, Addie?
We love Addie.
and Bandrew says that the Homecoming podcast was great.
Awesome. Yeah, so check out the TV show. It feels so weird calling it TV show. Amazon show. Prime show. Yeah.
You can get lettuce and lore.
What, you going with the alliteration theme?
Yep. Just get anything now.
So,
okay.
yeah.
Here's Addie's site.
So nice. Yeah, this is Addie's site, the podcast planner. If you don't know it or you don't have it, get with the program. It's a whole planner for people to start their podcast. And Addie is also going to be, I'm going to show you right here.
It's a great resource too.
Right.
I've held it and it's amazing.
Right about here, you could see on the screen, right there, that's where Addie's going to be at NAB. Well, and then she'll probably move over here. And then she'll probably walk over here, but that's where Addie's going to be, hanging out with us and Ralph M. Rivera.
Nice.
We're actually going to be hanging out with her tomorrow, I think. There's an event down in her neck of the woods, LA, with a friend of ours, Jay Connor, who's the host of the Extraordinary Negroes podcast. And so he's hosting this event, and we'll see them down there because Simplecast is one of the big sponsors. So we're excited to be a sponsor of that event as well.
Cool.
That's called An Extraordinary Evening. So looking forward to seeing some of the community from LA out there.
I'm sure it'll live up to its name.
An extraordinary evening.
Right, here it is. This is it, huh? Yep, Tuesday, December 13th. It's in
downtown.
LA.
Yeah, this is it.
All right. Well, if you're in LA, you know where to go.
$3.99. It's an extraordinary evening for podcasters of color.
There you go.
This is Jay's first event. He's been doing a lot of public speaking this year. And he's bridging that to doing his own event, so had to make the trip for that. I think we're on the first flight out of the Bay Area tomorrow morning, so we'll see you there, Addie.
Oh, cool. So, all right, next one. Pod News. By the way, so if you're watching this and you're not signed up for the Pod News email, it's really good. It's a daily email with all kinds of good stuff, and I do get some of the stories I cover here. I find through Pod News. So and if anybody wants, you know what would be cool is if you guys could tweet at like the people I mention and stuff and be like, hey, Chris talked about you in the Podcasters Lounge, right? I don't know. I'm so lame.
James would appreciate it too, because there's a lot of work that he puts into that site. It shows.
Right. See, I have no idea how to build a community and handle things, but so I actually don't know how to do very much. The only thing I do really well is produce audio. That me there, but anything else I seriously don't know how to do anything else. I don't know how to market my school. I don't know how to build a community. I don't know how to do social media. I really don't. I'm clumsy, it's stupid. But anyway, I know I'm not doing that bad, but you know what I mean? Like,
it's a lot, man. It's a lot to take in, everything. And that's why we really, sympathize with the podcasters, because it's like, okay, you got to do this and you got to do this. And, oh yeah, besides making killer content, you also got to promote that and build this community and be everywhere on the socials and use it appropriately. And And then you find out that a lot of these professionals all have, people in the Philippines working for them, and that's how they're able to stay on top of it, but maybe, not everyone has access to those type of resources. So podcasting ain't easy for sure.
Yeah.
So you're not doing that bad, man.
So this is a compressor I use. It's a Waves plugin, the CLA 76 compressor limiter. And it's cool because there's two modes of it, the Bluey and the Blackie. And I usually use the Bluey. It's just a button. See, you can even see the button on the bottom, Bluey or Blackie. You just pick one. They're slightly different. But I did something really cool today, is that I took an audio file of a guy who was really, and this isn't a good representation of it, but you see how on this wave file, like, it's very consistent. Like, the level up is a little higher here, it's a little bit lower here, but it's pretty consistent. But you've seen audio waves before where it goes really loud and then just start talking like this.
Yeah.
And it's horrible. So what I did, I have other tools to do this, but today I was like, you know what? I'm going to try it with the CLA 76, and I just decided to put the release time almost the longest release possible. And it's cool when you use a compressor with a really long release, it'll even out audio pretty well. So like if this section here, let's just pretend. Let's say this section here was a lot lower. Let's gain, what? Where is it? Oh, it's up here. Let's bring it down. Yeah, 16 dB. All right, that's a little much. So bring it down like 10. So like if you were to run a compressor, let's say this is one track, like one person's talking, and right here they're right on the mic, and then they drift like 2 feet away from the mic, and then they get back on the mic. It's like, how do you level that out, right? That's the question. But when you use a compressor with a long release time, it does a good job of, in the sections where it's loud, it'll compress it down nice and even. And then in the places where it's softer, the compressor, you don't really want the compressor to do anything in those sections. So then it'll squash the louder parts down to about the same level as the lower parts. And then of course you got to boost the overall gain to bring it back to where it was. So and it was pretty interesting. And I put it in the first on the top of my plugins, my plugin list. So, well, this is my own track. This is what I do to my own voice. But you can actually move these plugins up and down. So like if you were to take this, you could put it right on top. So that's what I did. The first plugin that processed the audio was the CLA 76, and like I said, I had the release almost all the way up. Which for this plugin, all the way, well, to the right means quick, and to the left means slow, for both the attack and release. So it's backwards of most controls. But anyway, so then it evened it out with my first plugin, and then it went to the other plugins, more even. So then I could process it there even better. So anyway, I just wanted to share that. Sometimes I like to mention some technical stuff here and there. Ross Brand is here.
Ross, we met Ross at Vid Summit.
Yeah.
He gets some grunting. Yeah. All right, fade it. So Max Flight, he says, I don't know how much compression is the right amount. Yeah, you just got to listen to it, and so yeah, you do too much, and then you're like, oh, that sounds crushed, and then you just back it off, and then you try to use too little, and then you're like, yeah, it needs more compression, and then you just got to find that right amount. And then once you start learning the meters, like once you, for instance, when I'm putting audio through this compressor, I kind of know how much the needle should move, and actually I want it to compress maybe -3 or -4 at most. If it starts to go down to -5 or -7, that's way too much compression. So it's between your ears and the plug-in and the metering. You don't know how crush sounds. Well, we talked about it in class, Max, what happens is if someone's talking really loud and then they start talking really soft, if you compress that, when they're talking soft, that'll actually sound louder than when they're talking loud. Right? So you gotta practice it and listen. So the other thing is the breaths. If I'm talking, and I take a breath, and then I keep talking, and then I take a breath, and I keep talking. When you start to compress audio a lot, the breaths, relatively speaking, get a lot louder. So it'll sound like, and then the person will talk here, and then, so the compression brings up the lower volume stuff. So then you just got to know what is the lower volume stuff and what's the higher volume stuff. And then how much do you want to compress it? Do you want the breath to be as loud as a word? Of course not. So if the breath is as loud as a word, that's too much compression. So then you do less. And then if that's still too much, you do less. And so you have to, it has a lot to do with your ear. And it's, you really just have to play with it and learn. Overdo it both ways, and then you'll start to see the middle ground. I mean, you can only explain these things so much with words, right? Is it like, I mean, technically, you know what's happening. You know how a compressor works, and so that's that. So, oh, you turned the camera off. So, you guys still there, Zach? Did he leave? Yes, Max Flight. Are you guys still here? Are you guys gonna cut out now? Because I want to ask you, when is the version 1.0 coming?
Yes, sir. In the beginning of January, so within the next few weeks.
Wow. All right, cool. So awesome. Well, are you guys gonna bolt now? You want to bolt? I mean, we're gonna chill in the lounge for at least another hour, but
I think we're getting booted out of the sound booth that we're in at Studio To Be in Oakland. So I apologize, but we got to cut it a little bit short.
No, it's not short. We didn't really talk about how long, and I don't expect people to be on the entire 2 hours. I mean, that's not what we're doing. I'm just happy you guys could join me and that I could get you on the screen like this and show Squadcast a little.
We're happy to be here, man.
Yeah, appreciate the opportunity, and I like what you're doing with Podcasters Lounge, so I'll definitely be checking it out on Wednesdays.
Yeah, cool. And so for you guys and for anyone else who's watching, listening, I just started this and I thought it would be fun. So like, if you have any ideas of what I could do better or things I could incorporate or skills as a host that I need to develop, just let me know, seriously, because I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just streaming and having fun, and so yeah. But thank you guys. So
you're a vanguard, so appreciate your time, Chris. We'll catch you a little bit later.
Yeah, all right, see you guys. Thanks for joining us. Everyone say goodbye to Zach and Rock.
Bye, everyone.
All right, that's it. Boom. That's it. Did you get your fill? So let's move on to this. Vandrew, Ralph, everybody, Mike, look. This is the one I got, the Sennheiser MKH416. I ordered it. I got a $200 instant rebate, so I'm gonna end up paying $799, and it's coming on Thursday. Well, today's Wednesday. It's coming tomorrow. Sorry. Yes, it's coming tomorrow. My 416. So next week in the stream, you're gonna see this. So here, let me. Yeah. See, somehow my camera got zoomed in. I mean, I guess it's better. I don't know. Does my face look big? Does it look like my face is on a big screen TV in Times Square? Yeah, the $200 rebate is just through the, no, I got it through yeah, Santa Joe. It's right here. That's it. You type in Santa Joe into the code, and yeah, you get a $200 rebate. So that's what I did. Brandon, thanks, brother. Welcome to the 416 Club. So next week, instead of this RE20, well, I don't know how I'm going to do it, but I think I might put it like basically right where the RE20 is, but a little further away, and have it like pointing up at me. Or I guess I could like point it like from the side, point it down. I don't know how I'm going to set it up yet, because I like the RE20 on this stand. That's my normal like podcasting setup, so I'm not gonna mess with this setup. So I'm gonna have to figure out a new setup. So see, this is that vintage RE20 that Mark Johansson sold me. So this isn't even your average RE20. But no, I won't get rid of this. I like this one. Well, I can't say that. I don't know what the 416 is gonna sound like. Right? Maybe max flight. Yeah, I should get another boom. I'll put it on. Maybe I'll get another boom. I think so. Yeah, the SM7B, Ross, is pretty good. And I also, Ross, I saw you. You seem to be. I think you angled your mic a little bit more toward you, and you're talking more straight into it, and that's good, man. Yep, so that's coming tomorrow, and see, now if I was savvy with social media or something, I would like do an unboxing and stuff that, you know, like Ray Ortega's great with that stuff, right? And even on Instagram, although I don't watch much Instagram anymore, because I basically keep my phone in airplane mode all the time, because I don't want it to emit the electromagnetic radiation. So I'll just I'll turn off airplane mode and let it update and see if I get any text or whatever, and then I'll just literally within 30 seconds or a minute I'll put it back in airplane mode. Cause I don't know, I got real sensitive to this electromagnetic frequency radiation and stuff, which I showed you guys my meter, and yeah. Oh, one thing I found out about that is that your TV remote control is connected through some sort of a Bluetooth, or I don't know if it's Bluetooth or some other wireless system. You can't turn that off. And so when I bring my meter and I check, like, now the remote control for my TV is showing that it's giving off some EMFs, and my TV, because my TV has to receive that. So it's like, whatever. I mean, I don't want to get too nutty, but you know, why not minimize it? All right, Max, you got to run, brother. Thanks for hanging out, dude. You're going to an acoustic open mic night at the Irish pub? Oh, cool. And do you, Max, do you listen to the Irish and Celtic Music podcast? I love that one. You probably do. Green Bank, West Virginia, wireless signals are illegal there? Oh yeah, okay. So Max is saying that he did the update as well, the MixPre firmware version 3.0 update, which I did as well, and mentioned that SD Sound Devices also has a free Ambisonics plugin. Yeah, I'll mention that. We might as well talk about it now. So yeah, Ambisonics is the, well, see, this music, now I'm gonna thumbs down. Right? See? Right? Yeah. No, the Irish and Celtic Music podcast. It's hard to type because my microphone cable is like right above my... Yeah, Mark Gunn. He does the Irish and Celtic Music podcast. It's awesome, man. He does a great job. All indie music. It's so cool. Oh! I did it again! Sorry. See, everybody, I'm sorry. Oh, God. So this is the Irish and Celtic Music Podcast, and this is the Ambisonics microphone. Yeah, it's a good picture. Yeah, you can see that. So it's a microphone. It actually has 4 different capsules on it at different angles, and you can actually, it records all 4, and then it can create like a surround sound. Like if you were to hold that and walk down the street, you can basically do post-production. So basically the person listening would hear all the sound in 3D. So that's what, and so what Max is saying is that the MixPre now has a what is it, a plug-in or something that actually now it can handle the Ambisonics. Yeah, it's a VR mic, so it's like a virtual reality mic. Ross Brand, what's in the new MixPre update? I don't think anything major. I read through it. And yeah, so full detail and feature changes. I read through this, and for us podcasters, a couple things, but nothing I didn't think it was anything major. So yeah, the link, you can find this link, but I'll put it in the show notes. You can check it out. I just always, with certain things, I always would just want to stay updated. So I just updated because I want to stay updated. Yeah, Max, you have little ear mics. And you made a recording of rainstorms. I have those. I have ear microphones too, and I've done some of that before too. I love that. I love recording nature, and it's hard though. It's hard. Find the binaural recording of the SpaceX launch and the landing of the 2 boosters. Really? All right, I have to find that. I do want to listen to that. Yeah. So, all right, Max, if you got to go, man, have fun jamming. Have fun at open mic night. Check out the Irish and Celtic Music Podcast. Yep, there's a picture of me when I was a little kid. So something else so what have you guys been listening to lately? Do you have any shows or episodes that you checked out you really liked? All right, see you, Max. Later, brother. Yeah, I think I'm gonna ditch Facebook. I'm tired of it. I'm tired of trying to stream to Facebook and get the chat up here. It doesn't work. Facebook sucks. Of course it doesn't suck, but whatever. You know what I mean. So anyway, I've been listening to Dan Carlin's Hardcore History Addendum. Right? And he only launched this, about a year ago, a little over a year ago. And these are shorter episodes, but it still has to do with history. It's still like hardcore history, but it's like shorter episodes and also like some interviews he's done. The interview's great. He interviewed this guy about Rome. Was it this one about Rome? Yeah, he interviewed Mike Duncan talking about Rome and the Roman Empire and stuff. That was awesome. They're all really good. This one, The Nightmare of the Indianapolis. You guys remember in the movie Jaws, when they were out and they were sitting at the table, and I don't know if they were playing cards or eating or they were just drinking, and then Quint, the old sea dog, he started telling the story about how he was on the Indianapolis when they were delivering the atomic bomb to Japan, and then the ship went down, and the shark, they were in the water for 5 days, and the sharks just were the whole time sharks were eating people. Anyway, that's a true story, and he ends up talking about that in this episode. So anyway, of course, I don't know. It seems like anything Dan Carlin does with history is cool. Because he's just so into it, right? His enthusiasm for it. See, cinematic soundscapes. I don't want that. See, the Emerald Lounge. Maybe this should be good. Wait, what? I've never heard of that one, Bandrew. The Privacy, Security, and OS Int show. See, the thing, Bandrew, with all the privacy and security stuff is, if you start looking into that, and it's great to look into it, but thing is, the way we operate our lives is there's no security. Like, I mean, we're just, anyone could hack anything. I don't know. I mean, I'm not like paranoid or anything, but like what I'm saying is like everything you do, it could be like a liability, you know what I mean? Right? Is that your opinion, Bandrew? You're trying to be more secure lately? So look at these things. Have you guys ever heard of this? Ethernet over power. Ethernet over power. So here's the thing. Like I showed you, I have the meter that measures the EMFs, and so now I don't want to have the Wi-Fi on in my house because the Wi-Fi is one of the biggest sources of the EMFs, and my router sits literally about 10 feet right to my right over there. So I was trying to not use Wi-Fi. So Bandrew says, my opinion is anything can and will be hacked, but limiting the amount of data collected by corporations by using masked cards, alias emails, etc. will limit the damage done to you. Cool. Brandon says, check out Sound Matters. It's a Bang & Olufsen show. It's all about sound. Oh, really? Oh, that is cool. Sound Matters. I should find that one. And Ralph Rivera, yes, he uses the VPN. Ralph told me about PIA VPN, Private Internet Access. It's an app. You can use it on your laptop or your phone. It's really cool. Oh, Banju says, of course. Of course, Ralph. Ralph M. Rivera. See, now we're in like, oh God, this is freaking music. I don't know, man. I need help getting music for this lounge. Although this is really loungy like music, right? See, this is almost like modern jazz, which I could never stand modern jazz. I mean, this is like 4 in a row. I don't know. I need to find real music. I'm not happy with this. Anyway, so I didn't want to use Wi-Fi anymore. I mean, I have it just in case I need it, right? Of course. If I need to turn it on and use it, I'll do it. No problem. But just to have it on all day, 10 feet away, just killing me with these EMFs, I said, no, I don't want it on. So what you see on the screen is these Ethernet over power units. So what you do, from my router, I'll take an Ethernet cable out of my router, plug it into one of these things, and plug it into the wall, into my power outlet. Then I take the other unit, let's say I take it upstairs, I plug in that unit upstairs, and I take an Ethernet cable out of it and plug in another computer. So now that computer upstairs is connected to an Ethernet cable, which is going into one of these devices, which then the signal goes through the power lines in your house. Like the actual power, whatever cables are in your wall, and then it comes out through the other one of these, and it gets, these things filter out all the power and the 60 cycles and all that. So it's just left with the internet connection. So now my wife can be upstairs, she can be on the internet with good speed too, with no Wi-Fi, just plugged in through these things. And they're $80, which $80 isn't bad. And we'll probably get a couple more, so we can actually, you know, for the upstairs, for the second floor computer, we also want one for that. Ross Brand, yes, no cords running through your house, man. The internet signal goes through your power lines in your walls. Like the power outlets, it goes through, and then it, you know, you basically sync up these units so they can basically talk to each other over the power lines. It's really pretty cool, man. And it works pretty good. Now, I'm sure you can get one that costs like $20. That sucks. So you know, these ones are pretty highly rated, as you can see, and they're not cheap. It's $80. I mean, there are other ones out there for less, but I was like, you know, I'm just gonna get the, well, you probably know my mentality. Buy the good one, and then you'll have a good one. Spend a little extra money, get the right thing, the right tool for the job. That's my thinking, usually. So anyway, I don't know. It's pretty cool. And then, so now, if, you know, my wife wants to go into some room of the house, she can just unplug this from the power outlet, walk into another room, plug it into the power outlet, and just run the Ethernet cable into her laptop, and boom, she's online. High speed. Probably higher speed than Wi-Fi, for sure. And then I don't have to have my Wi-Fi router on the whole time. Wait, what? Oh. Wow, this music is just, you know what? I don't even want to hear the rest of that song. I'll just give it a thumbs down. I'm serious. I can't win here with the music. All right, here's the story you've all been waiting for. This is what I teased in the beginning. Are you guys comfortable? Are you guys drinking? What are you drinking, Ralph Rivera? Bandrew? I got the Monster Rehab. Little iced tea, lemonade. I probably shouldn't be drinking so much caffeine so late. Well, it's 6:22 p.m. my time. But still, for me, that's a little late to be drinking caffeine. If I want to try and go to bed, or like at 10 or something. Hey, Heather's got water. Water's not boring. You actually need it to live. But, okay, so I used to work... Wait, did I tell this in the beginning already? No. Okay, so... I teased it. I teased it really well. So, I used to work in this warehouse. This is literally 20 years ago. Late 90s, right? 20 years ago. And I worked in... Oh, Brandon's got the Green Flash IPA. See, Brandon, now you're gonna spark Ralph M. Rivera. He's gonna come back at you. He's gonna top you in about a minute. Watch. With what he's drinking. So, I worked in this warehouse, and I was the manager of this department, and a lot of the people who worked in this warehouse were non-English speaking. Well, they guess they spoke some English, but they were from, like, basically foreign countries, right? And several of them, or many of them, were from Ecuador, because whatever. Ralph's drinking the tea. So, and you know, and a lot of these people worked in my department, worked around the warehouse, and I knew some, whatever. So, there was a few of the females who I knew, and one of them approached me one day, and this is, you know, this is before I was married, long before I was married. So, I was approached, and she asked me, she's like, hey, do you, this one woman who worked there, she approached me and said, hey, do you want to make some money? I said, what are you talking about? She said, oh, if you can go down to Ecuador and get married and bring your wife back, and we'll pay you $10,000. I swear. And I just looked at her. I'm like, oh my God. Like, I didn't even, I mean, I guess some people do that kind of thing, man, right? I guess it must happen all the time, but I don't know. To me, I would never do that, first of all. Second of all, 10 grand? 10 grand's not a lot of money. I mean, back then it was a good amount, but 10 grand ain't gonna get you far, right? So I was just like, no, thank you, no, thank you. And I was like, how? Then I started thinking, like, okay, how does that work? Like, are they just gonna fly me there and then they're just gonna say, okay, this is your wife, go ahead, get back on the plane and bring her back, right? I don't know. That was weird, man. Ralph, is that how you met Carolyn? Oh God. Oh yeah. All right. Anyway, I thought that was a funny story, right? I'm sure you have funny stories from your years of being alive. Wacky stuff, right? Thing is, I forget a lot of them, right? I really forget, like, well, they're there somewhere, but, and I don't know why I thought of this. The other day I thought of this and I was like, you know what? I got to mention that in the lounge. So, all right, the power of myth. Have you guys? Okay. Dr. Joseph Campbell. I'm gonna bring him up on Wikipedia. Joseph Campbell. Oh, I don't know why I keep calling him doctor. Here's Wikipedia asking for money. I do sometimes donate to Wikipedia. I've done it several times, so I'm happy to contribute because I do look at Wikipedia. Anyway, he actually passed away in 1987, but he was born in 1904. And he was like an expert on mythology and archetypal heroes and myths and it's like you know, like today Jordan Peterson is really an expert in what he's an expert in the same way, like think of a guy who literally has spent 40 or 50 years studying the same thing and who just knows it probably knows it better than anyone on the planet. Well, that's what Joseph Campbell, that's how he was with mythology and myths and the study of myths, all different countries, all around the world. Just stupid amounts of wisdom and knowledge. And this is a 3 DVD set that I bought. I don't know if I paid $104 for it. Jeez. Maybe I did. Anyway, I don't know. But it's old. It's like, it's 30, 40 years old. But it's 3 DVDs worth of interviews with him and Bill Moyers. And it's just, I mean, if you're into spirituality and deeper stuff, oh man, it's just really good. And the 3rd disc we just watched the other night for the first time. It's just outstanding. We want to have a movie night with our meetup group here so we can watch it and talk about it. Really phenomenal stuff. Mythology and myths and imagery and meaning, like stories, like cultural stories that go back thousands of years and their deep meaning. It's fascinating stuff. Are you guys into anything like this? I mean, yeah. So should I do some Puzzle Rush? You guys want me to play some Puzzle Rush? You guys know what Puzzle Rush is? Oh, wait. See, chess.com, where sometimes I play Ralph M. Rivera, but he hasn't accepted my challenges in a while. So, this is Puzzle Rush. You get 5 minutes to solve as many puzzles as you can. You ready? How many do you think I'll get? The record is like 55. I think my personal record is maybe around 20. Not that, not that good. Maybe like 21. All right. Let's just do it. Oh, excuse me. Uh-oh. What the heck am I supposed to do? I'm stumped already on the 3rd one? Or do I just take it? Oh, I just take it. Oh, God. Oh, that one's easy. Fork him. Take his rook. Now, back rank mate. See, when you have back rank issues, that's not good. Oh, there's a mate in 1. That was easy. See, they start out easy. Although here, what do I do here? Oh, I take the pawn and then take the rook. See, now he's got a back rank issue. See, I give up my queen for checkmate. See, checkmate is the answer. Not winning pieces, not anything. It's only about the checkmate. Speaking of checkmate, oh, I checkmated him with a pawn. Wait, what is he doing? I'm confused. Oh. Check there, and then what? Oh, see, look at the time's counting down. See, when we have a real lounge or something, you'll see. Oh. Oh, really? All right. Are you kidding? I'm gonna make a queen. Yes. Right? Gotta make a queen whenever you can. You know? Oh, that was easy. Oh, that was easy. Oh man, I just ran him down. So, oh man, what am I supposed to do here? By the way, there is a podcast about chess, sort of. It's Danny Wrench from chess.com. He, I don't know what I'm supposed to do here. Oh. Oh, found it. See, sometimes it takes a minute to find it. That's what she said. oh, sleepy time for Ralph. What? Ralph, you're supposed to, oh, there we go. You're supposed to accept my challenge on chess.com, bro. What am I supposed to do here? Oh. I just take and then his... What? Oh. Wait a minute. Take. Why would I take? Oh. All right, good night, Ralph. Adios. Ralph. All right, we got a minute and 14 left. Oh, I got 18 so far. Although doesn't look good. Oh, here we go. See, if I take his knight and he takes the pawn, then I get his rook for free. Yes. Can I check there? No. Can I check there? No. Wait, what if I take... Oh, see, I got it wrong. Some of these are like... Oh, I got that wrong too? All right, let's do it. Already got 26 seconds left. Can I check them? Oh, wow. Look at that. I got 3 in a row wrong right at the end. Bishop to b5. Oh, I think that was the previous one, Ross. Dang it. All right, anyway. So, this is the book I just got. Oh, Ross. Yeah, I didn't know which one you were talking about anyway, Ross. But do you play chess, Ross? That's cool, man, if you do. Chess is awesome. I'm not good, but I like it. There's a big tournament going on now in London, too. And Magnus Carlsen just won the World Championship as well. So... this book I just bought, it just came out December 4th. I already bought it and read it, and it's awesome. This guy is just a beast. He went through he went through like all the specialty for, like, he became a Navy SEAL, an Army Ranger. He went to Delta Force. He went to Iraq. He ran ultra marathons. Like, it's just disgusting what this guy has done and what he went through. And his story is awesome, and it's really motivating. Like talking about, like he has this thing he says where he calls it the 40% rule, that most people only achieve 40% of what they could achieve because they don't put in the right amount of effort. They don't give it all, and they don't put in 100% effort. They put in 40% effort. Yeah, and the 40%, by the way, is what you think is your 100%. But what you think is your 100, that's only 40. You still have a long way to go after that. So it's really interesting, you know, because in life we try to achieve things and we try to, you know, succeed. And it's not easy. And sometimes we feel like we're giving it our best shot, but we're really not. In the end, we're really not. None of us are. Like each of us could do way better if we got serious about it. But we're just kind of, you know, hanging out, you know, taking the path of least resistance. And I'm the same way, right? I feel that way, so that's why I read books like this to light a fire under my butt, right? So anyway, good book. Oh, I told the story of me on the subway earlier about if you're ever on a subway in New York or any other city and you're with a bunch of shady thug people who are about to stomp on you. I already told you the way to get out of it. I'm sure Ralph Rivera uses the technique very often. So, you guys remember what I said, or were you not here? So, oh, Heather, you missed it? All right, I'll say it. See, oh man, I gotta change the music first. Yeah. See, I don't want any of this cinematic soundscape. This is supposed to be the chill station. How is that chill? All right, so Heather, what you do is well, I guess women could use it too, but so if you're ever on a subway with some shady people and they're, you know, you're really in fear of your life, my friend said just like dump a bunch of water like on your pants, like on your crotch area. and then he said just start like mumbling to yourself. And, you know, just like stare at the ground and mumble, and he said then he said, you know, then the guys would just probably leave you alone because even they don't want to mess with some wacky crazy guy. So anyway, see, that could be very practical advice that might be helpful in your life at some point. I'm just saying. Someday, somewhere, if you use that technique, you're going to think, wow, I'm really glad I watched the Podcasters Lounge. Useful tips, okay? Anyway. So, yep, there's Bandrew's Podcastage. YouTube channel, you should definitely go and subscribe. Mitch Ray, he does technical analysis with crypto. I like his channel a lot. I watch him. And, yeah, and then, this is what Zach and Rock mentioned, the masterclasses. Masterclass.com. I never even heard of it. Well, I guess I might have heard of this site, but anyway, I don't know how they do it. Oh, $180 a year to access all the classes? Really? Is that true? If they have a lot of classes, that would be... Hey, dude! What's up? Welcome. Did you just get here? iMajora. I forget iMajora's name. I told you I need like a little cheat sheet. Anyway, I'm going to check this out. Masterclass.com. Oh, we were looking up the Homecoming. Yeah, Homecoming. See, a Prime original. We have Prime. Oh, hey, Matt. Matt. Yes. Well, welcome, Matt. Welcome to the lounge. What are you drinking? What are you eating? Are you in your pajamas already? You know, Ralph Rivera's already in bed, so you know how that works. Anyway, I'm going to check out the Homecoming. Then you got, Addie was here. I don't know if she's still here, but the podcast planner. If you know anyone who's new to podcasting, who doesn't know how to get started and all that, this is what Addie's podcast planner is really for. There's a lot in here. I actually never went through this. Probably all kinds of good stuff. And Addie is... She actually went to school for audio engineering as well. So she actually knows audio. Addie Saucedo. And she's going to be with us at NAB. Matt just got home from work and you're firing up some tacos. There you go. Oh, this is the event in LA that Zach and Rock are attending tomorrow night. So, here's the Ambisonic microphone that now is compatible with, where is it? Nope. There it is. Sound Devices MixPre 3, MixPre 6. Anyway. So, that's that. And then, of course, the Irish and Celtic Music Podcast. And then, of course, Joseph Campbell. Why do I keep calling him Doctor? Maybe he's not a doctor. I keep saying doctor. Right? Anyway. You know what's... because my grandma was born in 1909. And my grandpa was born in 1903. But nowadays, like if someone's 100 years old right now, that means they were born in 1918. So think about that. Someone who's 100 years old right now, born in 1918. By the time they were 20 years old in 1938. So in the 30s, or the late 30s, they were 20. So in the 40s, they were a 30-year-old adult in the 1940s. So then as an adult went through the 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, right? I mean, think of the change in the way of life and the mindset and society, like, right? I don't know. I mean, and I know, you and I we're all going through that, right? I mean, I was born in 72. So in the 90s, I was an adult. So the 90s, the aughts, the teens. So, and in, 30 years, it'll be like, oh, dude, you were an adult in the 90s. Ooh, Nirvana, whatever. What the heck? Yeah, no. Do you still run a tape emulator in your effects chain? No, Matt, I don't. I did that a while ago. Is this another movie thing? It is. I don't want it. I just want chill music. Seriously, do you guys know of any... If you know... Ross, you might know. If in Spotify, is there like a royalty-free streaming music channel that everybody uses? Or like, what the hell are these people using to stream? I'm looking for royalty-free, and this Pretzel thing said it's reliable and good, but it's like in this chill station, there's like, I don't even know, 700 songs, and it seems like every other one is not that good. Yeah. Anyway, yeah, these people were adults before most people had TVs. I'm telling you. So, yeah, I don't know. Time's a funny thing. But Andrew's back. If people are streaming with music, it doesn't mean it's royalty free. It just means that they be forfeiting their monetization. Yes, that is true. Oh, Brandon, you gonna take off, man? All right, man. See you next time, dude. See you, brother. Thanks, Brandon. Thanks for coming on. Thanks for hanging. Thanks for coming to the lounge. I hope you had fun. I hope you liked the Subway different stories. Yeah, Bandrew, you're right. Like, I know, like, if you're just going to stream and you're not going to keep a recording of it, you can stream anything, right? I could play Van Halen albums. I could play anything, right? Anything. Live. But that cannot be replayed. Yes, Brandon, thanks, man. I'll have fun with the 416. And next week in the lounge, you'll see it. And you'll hear it. And I'm psyched. And I told you guys before I had to. Well, in the very beginning, I mentioned when I hooked everything up today. Well, I don't change my audio setup, like my mic, and it goes to the MixPre and stuff like that. But I used to go. I would always go through the mic switch. Yeah, you're not going to be able to see that. Yes. The mic switch rolls. It's like a little mic switch. You know, it has an input and an output. And it has a little switch. Wow. Oh, there we go. Anyway, it's like a mute button, and it's good. It's a cough button. That's what they call a cough button. Anyway, today, when I was getting set up, I heard this little ticking sound, and I didn't know where it was coming from, so I started troubleshooting it, and I realized it was coming from my mic into the MixPre. Like, somewhere between my mic and the MixPre was the noise. So I troubleshooting, you gotta just, like, eliminate some possible trouble, so I eliminated my channel strip. It wasn't that. And then I unplugged the mic switch. And I was able to reach the mic right from my mic all the way over to the channel strip, and then it went away. So something in the cables, or maybe the mic switch is now making noise. Either way, I just decided to bypass it, and I don't think I'm going to use it anymore. You know why? Because instead of using that mic switch, I can actually mute myself right on the MixPre 6. The MixPre 6 is right here, so I can easily. And I just muted myself. And so that's an even better mute, because that's a complete mute. This thing, I think it takes it down like 40 dB or maybe 50 dB, but it's not a complete mute button. Because there have been times when I connected with people to do an interview or something, and I mistakenly had myself mute, like had this pressed in, and I was talking and they could barely understand me. They're like, "Oh, you sound far away," or something. And I'm like, dude, so anyway, I'm happy that my MixPre, when I mute myself, it's a complete mute. So wait, on Twitch, Bandrew, if I play copywritten music, yeah, you can play it live, but in the replay they'll mute it. Yeah, YouTube will keep the YouTube will keep the audio, but the copyright owners will just claim the ad revenue. Oh, interesting. But I guess what if you're not doing ads? Then they'll probably mute it. Yeah, Matt says, I always make tiny adjustments each day with plugins, but keep the hardware the same for most of the time. Yeah, me too. And I talked about it earlier. Today I used my, where is it? My CLA 76 in a different way, with a really really long release time, to even out this track that was. It was classic. The guy would say something loud and then he would get in times where he just, some people they get real comfortable and they don't know what to do. Right? Some people are like that. They just start. I mean, I don't know. Maybe I have this sense when I'm on a mic, I'm talking and I'm projecting and I'm presenting or whatever I'm doing, right? I don't know what it is with some people. They just, they just talk. They just talk and they feel like they can almost whisper, and it's like they're being interviewed, and they don't. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, they're talking like Like if you were to like sit on your bed, on the edge of your bed in the morning and just like talk to yourself for a minute, like sort of mumble to yourself. That's how these people talk in interviews, some of them. Not the whole time, but at times, right? It's weird. YouTube allows that audio still, but it's smart to avoid it because currently it's allowed, but who knows what it will be like in another 2 years. Yeah, so that's the thing, right? Good point, Bandrew. Yeah, tiny adjustments with plugins. I also do that every day with every voice, right? I do save my, you know, you guys know that I save my, my plugin chain. But, see, and this is an old one. It still says FabFilter Pro Q2, where now I upgraded to the Pro Q3. But anyway, yeah, I'm not even using this. So, but yeah, I also tweak it every time. I mean, you have, like, as a professional, you have to, right? You would never just put a track in here, apply an effects chain, and click render and say, that's it, I'm done producing the podcast. Right? Oh, see, I'm not showing my screen. Sorry. Yeah, so anyway, what I was showing you was my plugin chain here, right? This is my plugins and whatever. Yep, I tweak them all. Yeah, Pro Q3, while you could still do it for free. Yes, do it. If you just bought the Pro Q2 recently, yeah, upgrade for free. Yeah, do it. It's pretty cool. The one thing I like, I haven't actually used it yet, but the one, see, what the, why me? Why can't I just have some, oh my God, really? Oh my, I don't know. I can't win with the music. All right, so. By the way, and also my Soothe from Oak Sound. I tried the Soothe from Oak Sound, the trial, and the trial expired. And I'm like wondering if I should actually buy it. I don't know. I don't know if I'm going to. I really don't. Yeah, Matt, Vocal Rider does help a lot in those cases. It really does. The combination of compression and the Vocal Rider. So yeah, here's the Pro Q3, and if you change this to tilt flat. Yeah, baby. And you can even move the fulcrum. This is pretty cool, man. Because sometimes, right, there's just too much low end and not enough high end, and I'm really just interested to even just tweaking this like live, it just will give you a better gauge on like what you're hearing and what you need to do to make it sound good, right? So like I might just use this to mess with it and hear what, and to just so I can hear just to hear what difference it makes, but I might not actually use this. I might just use it to hear things, and then I might say, oh, well, I like the fact that it took out this low end, but it doesn't need this much high end, right? But you can always add other, if you want to round out the high end, you can just... Pultec plugins for vocals, yes. Sounds like Curran and Bandrew need to write an album. Yeah, I wish I could write. I mean, I recently wrote an instrumental song. You guys want to hear it? Yeah, let me play that. Let me play that while I'm showing the Pultecs. If I could find it. All right, hold on. I gotta change this. All right. So let me look for that real quick because music. Is this? Oh yeah, here. Oh wait, I think I might have it. Oh, I'm gonna find this. I haven't played this. Rough mix without distorted piano. No, I want the distorted piano. Wait, so where's the? Oh no, it is. This is what I want. Okay, so hold on. I'm gonna put it into. You know what? I'm gonna put it in RX7. No. And all right, so now I'm gonna stop this pretzel thing. And now I'm going to drop this one into Ozone, and then I'm going to share my screen back again. Yeah. Oh, and I should. Yeah, the comments. Yes. Yeah. All right. So I got it. This is it. This is a song I wrote. And let me tell you something. It's not, I shouldn't call it a song. It's a chord structure. Okay. So no, none of you can steal this. All right. But Bandrew, seriously, I would love like lyrics and a melody and then we're going to be like the Beatles, dude. It's over. So I will play this. And just confirm that you can hear it. I'm sure you can hear it, but. Oh, and I have to just tell you, I put a drum beat in. It literally is just the same drum beat throughout. It's just holding the time. So don't like. I need to actually program drums that sound really good. These are actually Ocean Way drum samples, which sound really good. But again, I just put in a drum beat to keep the time. Eventually, if the song was ever really produced, I would have to come up with an actual drum part. So this isn't the actual drum part. This is just a straight beat, keeping the beat. And same with the bass. I did bass guitar through a synth, actually. And same thing. The bass is just to hold down the bass. It's something more interesting could be done. So really, it's more the chord changes and the structure. And the chorus of this is where I wrote these chords on a keyboard, and I'm not a keyboard player, but I wrote these chords, and they're really weird. They're not just standard minor or major chords. There's like other things in it, which I don't know what they're called, but it really gives it, it gives it a unique flavor. So I'll play it. Little drum beat intro. Yeah. Like the verse. This is like the bridge, the B section. This is the chorus. I'm sorry. That's the chorus. And the chorus is the chords that I really love. Here it is. Anyway, it's a little Billie Jean beat. Yes, Billie Jean. It's not my lover. Anyway, those four chords in the chorus, that's all I like. The rest is like dopey, but whatever. And there is a middle section. There is a break, but it's just so simple. Yeah, and I don't even want to play it now. Now that you got Billie Jean in my head. But yeah. Yeah, it's I actually wrote down, Bandrew, I wrote down what keys I was hitting. So I do have somewhere, like, I know what the chord is. I just don't know. Yeah, see, the mid-80s feel. See, that's not right. I wasn't going for that. But again, it's the drum. It's just the straight drum beat that gives it that. So that's why. Anyway, that's why I don't. Like, I even sent this to my friend who plays guitar, who, and I don't know. Maybe I should have waited to show it to people. Maybe I should have actually come up with a good drum beat and a good bass line before I showed anyone, because it does sound. It does sound kind of lame. It really does. But the four chords, I don't know. I like the progression of the four chords. That's all I like. And the fourth chord is my favorite. So these are the Pultecs that I sometimes use. This is the EQP1A. This is an EQ. It's really nice. The Pultec's really nice. This low end especially is really beefy and nice, but it's hard in podcasting. It's, a lot of times you don't need this just awesome, just warm low end. I mean, sometimes on a voice you do, but yeah. So Bandrew, I'm not like a big songwriter. Like I don't write many songs. I mean, I can write some, like if I had a guitar, I can mess around with chords. Like I can write punk songs and rock songs all day long. Like, but no words and melody though. That's the thing. And without words and melody, it's not really a song. So I could really just write some riffs. And that's like, anyone can do that. So, and I'm not, so I wish I was a songwriter. Like I mentioned earlier, go listen to that episode of, where is it? There's my new toilet, if you guys missed it. Yeah, this one, Broken Record Podcast, Nashville Revolution, Bobby Braddock, Don Schlitz, and Don Henry. Bandrew, did you hear this episode yet? That's all I want to know. If Bandrew has heard this episode. Okay. Oh, yeah, so I know what you're talking. So you're saying, Bandrew, yeah, just come up with, like, music, like a jam. See, that would be something we could do, like, because I'm mainly a drummer actually, so you could play guitar, I could drum, we could just come up with riffs and just jam. But yeah, so Bandrew, Broken Record is the podcast. It's made by Malcolm Gladwell and Rick Rubin. And dude, I said earlier in the stream, in the past 4 days, I've listened to this episode at least 5 times, and I know I've listened to parts of it more than that. Dude, this is just a fascinating episode about songwriting and music. It's just, Bandrew, you'll love it, man. Yeah. Ross, yes, we did cover a lot of ground. A new toilet and surviving the New York City subway. Chess puzzle. Yes, come on, this is the lounge. And the Squadcast guys, I don't know. Oh, wait, we're actually past the time. Song should be called 2 Feet Away from the Microphone. So anyway, yeah. So this is the Pultec EQ, and this is another Pultec EQ, but this is like mainly for mid-range. So if you look at the EQP1A, I'll go back to this one. It's mainly the low end and the high end. And this one's like the mid-range. So yeah, these are the 2 Pultec EQs I use sometimes. I actually don't use them much anymore. And I don't use the Shep 73 much anymore either, although this is an emulation of a Neve 1073. So if I ever need distortion on anything, you know how I get it? Right here with the Shep 73. You click preamp and you crank this up, and dude, you get distortion. You want to hear it? Let's hear it. Well, all right, it's not engaged right now, right? I did ask you about your studio at home. I want to move into all the different platforms. All right, so you heard my voice, right? Now I'm going to click this in. And here we go. I did ask you about your studio at home. I want to move into all the different platforms that you're posting to, because I saw one of your older videos and you were describing your, not just post-production, but like literally post. Yeah, you hear that? Oh yeah, that's some good distortion there. And the thing is, you mix it in, like, so what I could do is, watch this. Let's do this. So here's my track. I'm going to duplicate my track. So we're getting real tricky here. This is going to be cool. So if I go to the first one, I'm going to turn it off. And now the second one, my second track, it is on. Let's turn it up a little bit more. And now I'm going to take the second track. I'm going to take the volume, turn it all the way down. Now I'm going to play both of them, and I'm going to ease in some of that distortion. Here, I'll show you. I'll add in a lot just to show you. Well, first I want to ask you about Wow. Yeah. Right. So now listen to normal, and I'll just bring in a little bit of that distortion way in the background. Like you might, it's going to be hard to hear, but check it out. Well, first I want to ask you about oh no, I did ask you about your studio at home. See, even right there, that's too much. Well, first I want to ask you about so yeah, maybe like -40. Well, first I want to ask you about oh no, I did ask you about your studio. So yeah, I mean, maybe even less, I don't know. But anyway, that's just an example of a trick you can use you can use effects for some grit. Like if someone's voice is just too smooth, like you can actually add a lot of grittiness and then just add a little bit in beneath. There you go. If you ever need some grit or anything, there's a million tricks I could teach. That's what I teach in podcast engineering school. A lot of these tricks. So there you go. So there's the Pultex, and yeah, it looks like we're over time. I mean, geez, thank you guys for coming. This is all brought to you by Podcast Engineering School. If you or anyone you know wants to learn how to engineer and produce podcasts at a professional level, that's the school I teach. Of course, my show, I always forget to promote everything, and I forget to tell you to like everything and subscribe and hit some bell and all this. I don't know what to do, but this is the Podcast Engineering Show. Actually, the last episode, I actually detailed and did a detailed overview of the Podcast Engineering School program. So what do you use to widen your vocals? Well, in podcasting, I don't widen any vocals. But if I was to widen vocals, a chorusing effect can do that. A slight ping pong delay can do that. Also, doing what I just showed you, adding like an effect. But what you would do is you pan the clean channel all the way to the right, and then you pan the distorted channel all the way to the left. About 9 or 10 months ago, switched over to Mac, and I don't know. I don't even know if I'm. Can you hear that in stereo? You probably can't. But anyway, you can actually you can take the vocal, split it onto 2 tracks, and pan them hard left and right, and then just do different things to them. That's another way. I mean, there's a lot of ways. Reverb, if you want to add a slight reverb, that, again, probably not in podcasting, but also you could put reverb on one side, or you could put something on one side but not the other. Also a slight flange. Is that enough ways for you? Yeah, there's a lot of ways to widen vocals. Thing is, in widening vocals, you got to be careful you don't widen them too much, because then they become like this floaty thing. You can hear it, but it's not. You really do want the singer or the person, you want to hear their voice in a place, and you want it to be strong, and you can have other stuff going on, but you can't add too much crap, or else then it just becomes this weird thing. So, all right, Heather, thank you. Matt, Ross, Ralph, Bandrew, Addie, Zach, Rock, Mike McCallan. This has been awesome. Thank you all so much for coming to hang out. As always, please, if there's anything I can do to help you guys more, or change something, or to be a better streamer, let me know. If you have anything you can help me with the music, please let me know. If you want to write lyrics to my chords, let me know. All right, but let's. I think we're done. So if you guys want to grunt, and by the way, do you guys just walk around your house like grunting? I don't know. Sometimes you can. For background vocals, it's awesome to do 2 takes and pan hard left and right. Yes, that's another good way to do it. Well, delays. Hello, delays. Delays is like using multiple delays, panning them. Oh, million things. I was really thinking lately, that I think I do want to like try mixing a few songs. Not try. I want to mix a few songs. So if you guys know of any bands who want, like, I'll just mix the song for free, because I just want to have a really big session and use all the effects and really mix it really well, like, because I always love mixing. So I mean, again, I'm happy to do a song or two for free, because I just want to I just want to do it. So if you know any bands, like for real, I don't just want like a demo or some, a couple tracks and stuff. But I mean, mixing was my thing. And so I don't know. I think I really want to mix a music song. And I know the first one I do is going to take me a million years because, I have to set up my whole DAW session. And so then I got to get all the other effects, right? The delays and the flanges and the chorusing and everything. Like I don't use those for podcasting, so I haven't found any good effects for those. So I'll have to go find that, and I'll probably buy some, as you know. So, all right. Used to run hardware back when you were in the studios. Yeah. Oh yeah. When I was in the studios, there was nothing in the box. We didn't even have computers in the room. I mean, there was a computer in the console for automation, but that was it. Everything was in a patch bay. There's a whole wall of effects, of racks and racks of actual physical hardware unit effects like compressors and EQs and everything. And then we would actually use 2-inch tape for the multi-track. So we'd have we'd play it off of tape through the console, through effects, and then when we mix it down, we'd actually mix it onto a 1/2-inch tape, and that was the master. And we would run a DAT tape as a backup. But yeah, and I'm sure in some studios they still do that, but a lot of everything happens in the box, and so that's why you were asking about, or someone was asking about tape emulations. Yes, Ross, I cut with razor blades. I would edit tape. In fact, when we were mixing down, we do the main pass of the song, and when I was an assistant engineer, as the engineer was rewinding the master tapes, the 2-inch tapes, in the time it took for him to rewind, I would have to cut the 1/2-inch tape, splice in a bunch of leader tape, tape it, run a bunch of leader tape the other side of the leader tape, and be ready to hit record again, like within 30 seconds. Because then we'd be ready to run the next pass. Like maybe it was a vocal up mix or a bass up mix, or sometimes you do different things like guitar up mix. Like they would mix down several versions. So Steve Albini still does analog, yeah. So anyway, tape emulation plugins are good for music, though, not necessarily podcasts. All right, I'm going to get out of here. Thank you, everybody, again. We'll see you. See you next week. Remember, every week we stream. Happy to help you any way I can in the Podcasters Lounge. All right, peace out. See ya.